Welcome to the YSSN podcast. I'm your co-host today, Lual Arok. So in this podcast, we'll be talking about African basketball, particularly the FIBA Olympics, where Team South Sudan had a historic victory and Team Nigeria had a historic run going to the quarterfinals and then sadly losing to Team USA. To my right, I have my co-host here, Kur Kuath. Kur, can you introduce yourself today?
Hey, what it do? Welcome to YSSN, the podcast where we dive deep into the rise of African sports on the global stage and the representation of the Olympics. I'm your host, Kur Kuath, a professional basketball player currently playing here for the Towers in Hamburg, Germany, and a current member of the South Sudan national team. Join us as we share our insights from our own journey, conversations with fellow players, coaches, and experts, and explore the challenges and triumphs of African basketball and the sports on the road to the Olympic spotlight. We're excited to dive in to learning about African sports, and excited to continue to spread knowledge and give our opinions and viewpoints.
Thank you, Kur. Today in the studio, we have two of our other co-hosts. We have my friend. He goes by many names. He goes by Sway in the Morning, Sleepy Simpson, but I know him as Ayung Kuath. Ayung, can you introduce yourself today?
What it do, Ponaroo? It's your man, Moin Bang. And you already know how we live it, man. But if you don't know, I'm also go by Ayung Kuath, head of basketball operations for SSE, South Sudan Elite.
Hey, thank you, Sway, Moin Bang, Ayung. And
Check
to our
it
right,
out.
we have our spiritual leader, Rihan. Rihan, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, like they said, peace and blessings to the world. My name is Rihan Deng, and I'm an associate basketball head coach with South Sudan Elite.
Well, yay.
Do. I mean, yay. It's a program where we help like adult kids turn into adults. You know, trying to make it right for these little niggas.
Yes, sir.
Rihan, thank you for the introduction. Today, we're going to dive in to our topics today. We'll be talking about the Olympics and particularly Team South Sudan and Team Nigeria. In future conversations, we'll talk about other African teams, particularly the the African World Cup that will be happening this summer. But yeah, so what are you guys' thoughts on the Olympics? Cool, can you begin with your thoughts?
I want to start with Team Nigeria. They had a historical run this year. Going 2-2. I think the Nigerian women's basketball team. They made their debut in 2004 in the Athens Games, and they were the first African women's basketball team to actually compete in the Olympics. So that's a great achievement for basketball in Africa. And despite finishing 11th out of 12 teams, they made history by securing their first Olympic win for the women's basketball in the Olympics. And also, as the last few years, they actually have been the best team out of Africa. And they've been top ranked out of Africa, including both the men and women's basketball teams. So it's a great stature for them on the global stage. Those are my insights on the women's team, and I think that they're doing a great job, representing the continent, the motherland. What are y'all thoughts on that?
That's actually cool that you bring that up, because we actually have Nigeria's biggest fan, Moin Bang. Hey,
yeah.
how does it feel? How does it feel to see your team, that women's basketball team actually make it to the quarterfinals?
Like, honestly, me, proud Sudanese man, proud Monjang man, proud Dinka man. End of the day, I'm an African man, though. So anybody African doing something good, I love it.
Yeah,
So to see
mashallah.
what they did, you know what I'm saying? To see our captain, Amazin Kalu, do what she got to do. Hey, I'm talking about leading in points. She right there with assists, averaging 4 assists a game. That's my MVP. I don't care what anybody got to say. That's my MVP. I'm about to go to the next Nigerian women's game just so I can make sure the support for her. I swear to God.
Hey, I heard she's on the Atlanta Dream too. So hey, if they play one of the
Finally.
teams like Phoenix Mercury,
Yeah.
I'm there. Phoenix Mercury versus Dream, bro. I'm there, bro.
I'm happy, man. We need African representation in the league. Whether it's the W or the A, we need women. We need African to be part of the league because that's who we are.
Mhm.
We're basketball built. We're built for what they do. From yay high to they high. Yeah, that's who we are.
Yes,
I love it. I love it. Like me,
Thanks.
I can't complain. I can't find nothing to complain about. We went into the Olympics. We really weren't supposed to do that good. Had an amazing game against Canada. Had an amazing game against Australia. To come in, break history as one of the first teams to actually one of the first African teams. Let me re-clarify. One of the first African teams to compete in the quarterfinals. That's history. That hasn't been done before, and I'm happy to say that. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little late, but I'm happy that the time starting now that they get to start seeing what we're about.
Yeah.
Africa, well, yeah.
Yeah, she had her first WNBA debut a couple days ago for the Atlanta Dream, which I think she had a pretty decent showing.
Yeah.
But like what you said, to have them go to the quarterfinals, what's interesting is just like Team South Sudan, Team Nigeria were in the hardest group stage.
Yeah.
One of the
Like,
harder group stages.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, why do they do that to us?
Wait, who they have in the group stage?
Australia, France,
Canada.
and Canada.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
And then our first
And
game in the
here-
And they played USA, so they didn't have
Mhm.
a easy route to the Olympics, but they showed out. They went 2-2. So
because like one thing with me, yeah, that's not. I like no, that's real though. My fault for cutting you off too. But like one thing that me, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You know what I'm saying? Whether true or not, I like to think right. And I feel like we could have played against easy teams, but the world know what Africa could bring to the table. So don't put us against no little countries. Put us against the top dogs.
For real.
And like even though they cheating us, no, put us against them every time because that's who we are. And until y'all see that, we'll be right there ready to prove it to you guys. Man.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was interesting because France ended up going to the final, and even though they had the better win percentage, they came, I believe, second or third in their group stages where they had to play Team USA, the number one team.
Yeah,
which I personally I thought was just unfair because they beat what's it called? Canada. Canada is the best team outside of France in that group stage. So they beat Canada and they beat Australia in a very dominant fashion. They weren't able to beat France, but France were the silver medalists of the tournament. I believe like my gripe with FIBA is like I feel like FIBA just in terms because like, we're the only African team there for Nigeria and Team South Sudan. We're getting screwed over when you put us in a division where we have Team USA, Serbia, and then Canada, France, Australia. That was a group of death. And the assumption was Nigeria was going to go 0-3. They came out 2-1 and still played Team USA in the quarterfinals when they should have played a team that wasn't ranked as high because they proven that they were the second best team in that division in that group stage. You know what I mean? So that I see where your conspiracy theory comes from, and I think it's honestly a valid conspiracy theory. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Almost definitely. For the women, I think the way they had the group stages set up, they definitely had the hardest routes to the Olympics. Playing against the best in the world, and that's I feel like for us that's Olympics respecting us because they want to. They think they're the underdogs. We're the underdogs, but we always prevail. We show that we're going to show up and battle each game. Like even the Team USA game, we didn't get dominated. It was a close game. I feel like Amy Okonowo, she did her thing. She had 17, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. She had a really great game, and I felt like they showed that they can compete with anybody in the world, and that's just how we're gonna prevail. We're gonna come and show out. It doesn't matter who's against us. We've been through the worst, but those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, those are some great thoughts. Yeah, who kind of like described his MVP. Who are you guys' MVPs?
I was rocking with Promise, Amu Kamara. Yeah, she was tough. She was attacking the basket. I think she averaged
steals.
She averaged like 12.5, 5.5 assists,
team assists,
and like 3 steals. Yeah.
The steals were crazy. Like some of them were just like she was like reading those passing lanes. She was stripping them on their like weak ass dribbling, bro.
They damn near gave it to her.
Oh God, bro.
But
that was just her tenacity on the defensive end, bro. Like they were scared to dribble around her. They were like, "Oh, I can't make a mistake," because if I do make a mistake, she's getting a layup on the other end.
Hey, just like her name says, bro. She's promising.
She said, "I'm promising and getting these steals. I promise you, I'm gonna get that ball, man."
Yeah,
that promise was fulfilled too.
Definitely, bro. A young man who's I think you already told me who your MVP is, and she was
we already know
king.
That's the reason why, man.
that's the heart and soul of the team.
She had number 23 on her back too, man. She was repping Michael, man.
She's a Nigerian Michael Jordan. Jordan, I told you. It's my favorite. She was my favorite to watch. She came with the energy every game. She came with that intensity. There's no playing around her. You dribble that ball, Lucy. You pass that ball, Lucy. She taking them up all the way down the court. Like, me, I'm an energy. Like my basketball game is pure energy, pure defense, pure energy. So when I watch somebody that is that good, give that much energy, oh man, I love it. Hey, Kamalu, hey, Kalu, MVP, he's fine.
Yeah. So mine would be, I think her name is Azene.
Azene
Kalu. Yeah, she plays for the Dream now, bro.
I just think that. Yeah, you just told me that. Hey, let's believe we're gonna go to an Aces and Dreams game this year. Hey, I'm not gonna miss out.
In Vegas, I'm down. I'm definitely down. Yeah. Yeah, we're actually gonna get on that topic later about, which I'm happy to see that one of the African Olympic players actually got a professional contract. Yeah. So we'll get on to that later. Well, my MVPs were Nicole and Blessing and Palace. I love big men who actually protect the rim, and they were kind of undersized. Not really. They had big hearts, so they weren't really undersized. But like they were getting the rebounds, they were making those tough ass layups, and those are like you in the Olympics. Before we get too technical, you win by margins. So if you're making and you're getting N1s and you're making those hard ass paint points, is gonna help your margins at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was pretty impressive. But do you guys have any more thoughts on Team Nigeria?
I can't wait for the future. I'm happy. I'm just happy for what they did, because if I'm African, my little sister African, and she needs inspiration. She played basketball too. So for her to watch Team Nigeria to do what they did and show the world that we're not going to just back down and let y'all do this to us. She was able to take inspiration from that. She was able to inspire another group. Like, they did what they did. They made history. They did that. But the biggest thing is now they're inspiring the next generation. Now girls can feel like, oh, I have somebody that's done what I want to do. And like that's the biggest. That's my biggest thing. Like that's the biggest. That's make me smile. I swear.
No, most definitely. They're paving the way for these African girls in the future to represent their countries and be proud of that. And just be proud of the skin they live in. So that's amazing to see. I'm excited for not just Nigeria, but all the other African countries that have great national teams, great players. To finally get that light shine on them, I want them to be able to express their love and joy for their country, represent their country. And I just want y'all to know, the South Sudan national team, them girls is coming.
Hey, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Watch out, man.
That's why you see the flags, man. The flags, we've been waiting to put these jerseys on so we can represent our country. But as long as the African country doing it, that we represent either way, it don't matter unless you play against.
No matter what. Unless you play against us, Yo, we celebrate.
Yeah. So on speaking on that topic, like, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Team South Sudan's run? Hey, so I was at I was actually at a few of the games, but my favorite game wasn't in the Olympics. It was an exhibition game against Team USA.
Oh, man.
I was there at the O2, and my point of view is okay. So this is what happened, right? We had a shaky start, right? In the whole stadium, about 30,000 plus people. Team USA, and then just a small minority of us, supporting Team South Sudan. By the end of the third quarter, all the Team USA fans were quiet, and half of the stadium was rooting for Team South Sudan.
Yeah.
So that was a surreal experience. I couldn't even believe it, bro. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that, man? What are your thoughts on in general, just their run?
It's funny, dude, because like when you were at O2 watching that, when you were at the O2 watching that game, we were back in Utah. We had rented out a venue because this is the first time. I mean, like we've had plenty of opportunities, but this is one of the first times where like a lot of people have actually noticed that South Sudan has a national basketball team that's competing against all these countries. So like this was the first time I was able to set up something so that we can watch it together. We can like set up a watching party, and this is something I've been dreaming about for a kid. Like I've had a lot of sports teams, but they were never my sports teams. Like South Sudan, this is the first time I can be like, yeah, this is my team that I represent. Like this is the type of time like I'm about to pull up to the venue with my shirt off with a South Sudanese flag painted on my chest. I'm about to find 10 other people. I'm about to put the big S on me. We got the O, the U, the T, the H, all the way down to South Sudan. We got all of us standing strong, paint face like this. Like this. As a kid, I seen this shit on TV every time. Excuse my language, but I seen this on TV as a kid every time. So like, as soon as we had the opportunity, oh yeah, I ran for the gate, trying to fill up buildings so we could watch this together, so we can root together. I loved it.
Facts.
Yeah,
It was bigger than like a national thing. It was, it was an identity thing.
Real life.
We grew up here in America, but we're South Sudanese, and it was like that first sense of pride, like, yo, we're doing something bigger than war, on a national.
Yeah, like the world actually gets to know us. Yeah, they get to know about us outside of the war, outside of
fighting
what we're dealing with in our country. They don't know us about that. They don't know us about the war. They don't know about poverty. They know about how we're representing our country on the national stage, on the international stage.
Ball is for real. Yeah, man. No, for real. It's amazing to see how far the country has come. Since claiming independence, in 2011, and it's just crazy to see that a sport of basketball brings us the closest together. Like it's people don't realize like this really brings us peace and joy. Like
what
celebrating together. Like there's a lot of tribalism, a lot of stuff going on, but like people forget about that when we're playing. When the guys are balling, bro, they don't care what's going on. They don't care what tribe. All they know is, man, these guys are balling. They're representing the country on the national stage in front of the whole world.
Like a funny story. Like for y'all that don't know, Kur is my little brother. So it's like we got the same parents. So like we were home. Like my mom, like she used to like ever since like my Kur and Majuk, my two little brothers, they started playing basketball. She started getting interested in basketball, watching here and watching there. But it was like she only did that for them. So then when like the South Sudanese national team, like when we started playing against the Olympics and we doing this, we doing that, she's telling me every day, oh, how did the team do? How did the team do? What channel do I watch the game on? She's so interested. She's interested like I've never seen her before. And I'm seeing that with my aunties, my uncles, my older cousins, everybody like everybody's bought in. There's nothing you could sell to us no more because everybody's already bought in. All we needed was that opportunity. We took it and that was like my biggest feel. Like when my mom told, like when I see my mom interested in basketball, this is a thing I love. When I seen her interested, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna 10 times harder for my team now because I can't do it.
Yeah, so that's very. It was super interesting, man. It was such a eventful thing for all of us. But let's get to the the meat and bones of this thing. So no Diddy, but let's get to.
Hey, we Diddy free on this side. Come on.
Oh yeah, no Diddy, man.
No Diddy,
so
no cap.
Okay, let's start off with the Olympics games. We had our first victory with Team Puerto Rico. And in that game, it was 90-79, which was a very momentous period for us. But me, I'm a little bit more critical. I think we should have came away with a 20-point victory for reasons we'll talk about later on. But what are your guys' thoughts on the game? I think Kur has a pretty positive take on it. Kur, what are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, well, I feel like, I'm going to be critical. We started the game slow. We started the game super slow. Had let Puerto Rico have their little run. But, we dominated the last 3 quarters when it really mattered, But, most games always, are dictated within the first few minutes of the first half and the first few minutes of the second half. And we responded, and we, playing Puerto Rico, they're a great team. Of course, they're in the Olympics. But being in this group, we're expected to beat Puerto Rico by 20. But we got the win, which is
that's all that
the
matters.
only thing that matters, at the end of the day. But that was my view, and I think that was a great way to start off, the Olympics though, playing Puerto Rico, because it gave us our confidence.
Yeah.
But even before, playing Puerto Rico, we were able to build our confidence playing Team USA, playing the best team in the world, and actually giving them a game down to the last possession. So
that was a great game. Yeah, so let me get down to the margins. So, like Kur said, we had a slow start, and I think that slow start kind of screwed us over for the quarterfinals to get into the quarterfinals. I think if we were able to beat this team by 30, because Serbia beat this team they gave them a spanking, belt to ass, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they gave them a big spanking, and we should have done the exact same. But like, let's not downplay Puerto Rico's team. The team, their road to the Olympics was one of probably the most legendary runs you'll ever see in basketball history.
Who did they play against to get to where they got?
They beat Latvia in the most sensational way ever. They had the qualifiers in Puerto Rico. They won every game. They had Bad Bunny up on the stage, and they beat Latvia in the most dramatic way. It was something super special.
In front of Bad Bunny.
Yeah, so they had the momentum. No, sorry to cut you guys out, but they had momentum. Let me just explain this real quick. They had momentum, and you saw the momentum in the first quarter where they were able to get into a 10-point lead against us. And luckily, we were able to crawl back and cut the margins within 8. But those 8 points that we cut it counted toward the next games. You think about it. So we were only able to beat them by 11. We should have beat them by 20 because we needed by the third game.
Serbia,
we need a 2-point loss or a victory to move on.
To move on, yeah.
Yes, and we end up having an 11-point loss. So imagine if we would have beat this team by 20, and we would have kept the margins to win the Team USA game, which we'll talk about later. Our viewing right now would be different. Our perspective on Team South Sudan postpartum would be different. We would be in the quarterfinals, and we could have done whatever in the quarterfinals. Yeah. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it's tough because every game matters. Every game matters. Win or loss, I felt like I don't know what it was. Maybe the pressure or the defense, but them little points, them little spurts that they gave up in the beginning really did a toll on us. We could have had a bigger opportunity, even though we already made history. I'm not downplaying what they did. I'm surprised and that's what yeah, go ahead.
Because that's one thing too. Like Puerto Rico really is a good team. Like Jose Alvarez isn't he's not a regular Puerto Rican. That's he's a starting point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's a tough job to hold and contain. And then he had his I can't remember his name, but his
Waters.
Yeah. Like when he was going off, to contain 2 different high level players, it's a tough job. So for us to do what we did and contain them and walk out of that scrap fight with a dub, that was the biggest thing. It definitely could have been it could have been at least to me, it could have been a bigger margin win. But for just us to get out that game with a win, I think that's we should just let the streamers fly, because that's a like, I wouldn't say a great program, but that's a well-known program, a well-established program.
Yeah, it's a great nation.
Yeah, a win's a win, man. A win's a win.
Plus, it was history. It's a historical win. It's our first Olympic win.
Yeah. So for me, man, I'm happy with the win, because I remember I tweeted, because like they beat us in the World Cup, and Waters is the reason why we lost, because we were destroying them, and Waters just was unguardable. Luckily, we were able to learn from our mistakes and win. But I remember I tweeted out, man, I was like, "Yo, if Team South Sudan loses to Puerto Rico, I'm denouncing my citizenship, bro."
No,
bro, I just dude.
Even though we won, bro, I'm gonna need your citizenship, man.
Bro. Hey, man. Hey, South Sudan has been going through a lot, bro. And then if we were to lose to him, bro, I don't think I could have made it through, bro. Because I'm so invested. You understand? I'm so invested, and this is a team that we should beat. And I'm happy that we beat them by 11, but we should have beat them by more. But I'm proud to be South Sudanese to say that, hey, it was on the line. Hopefully, no one brought up that tweet. The tweet's still there. I'm not deleting no tweets. You know what I mean? The tweet is still there, but
it's gonna stay there forever.
Stay there forever, man. In case I run for South Sudan president, man, they're gonna be like, "Hey, what's this?" They pull that shit up. They're like, "Hey, what's this?" And I was like, "Hey, I was a young kid. I was just invested, man."
That's funny as hell. No, for real though. I loved it.
Like, you though. I think, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and like for us, that game was history. That was our first Olympic win ever. That was our first Olympic win ever. So like from 1 point, we could have beat them from 1 point to 99 points. We still made history that day as a nation. Our first Olympic win as a nation in any sport. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't really done my research much, but I feel like that was our as a nation in the Olympics. That was our first win,
victory. Yeah, it was.
Like we'll stand on that. We'll stand on that. Even though we didn't get to go far, we got 4 more years. LA's waiting for us. We'll stand on that. Cause that's all
we went far, man. We went all the way to Paris.
You know what I'm saying? I was like this 2024 Olympics was the appetizer. We're gonna feast it.
We're the only African men's team to go to play in the Olympics.
And I also feel like I love that you brought that up. I love that you brought that up, because I feel like we got finessed. As a big of a continent as Africa is, we can only let one men's team and one women's teams go to the Olympics.
Like, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but it's just how competitive is the basketball international sport is. So you really can't. It's very competitive, and you could say it's more European centric. But go ahead.
Yeah, but also like basketball it's growing. You know, like for example, you know, we finally got our first indoor court. You know, maybe a month ago in South Sudan.
Is it done yet?
Yes.
It's complete. It's complete.
It's one completed. It's not like for, you know, I feel like it's not for like the national team, but it's a court where it's indoor. But like basketball isn't taking that serious, you know, like other sports. You know, Africa, you know, they're more known for you know, soccer and like cross country and
even
track, you know.
Real fast before I don't mean to cut you off, but as we're speaking, the day that we're talking on is September 27, 2024. The basketball court just got done today. Continue what you were talking about. Or not recently.
Yes, yeah. And it's amazing that, you know, they're finally seeing how far basketball could do, like just a sport, you know. And a lot of people's eyes just a sport, but you know, many people's eyes, like, you know, many athletes' eyes, it's life, you know. Like for me personally, basketball has taken me all over the world. You know, played for the national team. I was able to travel, go back home, play professionally. I'm able to travel, live in other countries. So the growth of the sport is amazing to see. You know, throughout the continent of Africa, and I know for facts in the future they'll have more respect. We'll have more players. You know, in the league from Africa. You know,
like even what you're saying, I feel like with what we were able to do this year, what South Sudan was able to do this year, what Nigerian women's team was able to do this year, in the future, they're not only going to be able to let in one African team. In the future, after our game, after our showcase against USA, when we barely lost by 1, and we showed the world, yeah, this is the best basketball team to probably ever be built. We're a third world country without an indoor basketball court inside our country, and take them all the way to one point. That sparked a flame in the whole continent. Now America's not the big bad wolf anymore. Now they're one of the three little piggies that, you know what I'm saying? Even if they got the brick house, we're gonna find a way to take that down. And that's what I love. That's what I love with this last Olympic run, because then now we got most like, you know, Joel Embiid might go home and play for Senegal next year. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying?
Cameroon,
Like, little,
bro, come on.
Cameroon, but yeah, no, for sure. No, we get you don't know facts. That's facts though.
Sway has a point. Sway has a point.
I'm sorry.
So,
no.
Well, I'm sorry.
He probably even doesn't.
So your point is, because I have a feeling that the fact that Team South Sudan had so much universal praise in the media is gonna push African countries to invest a little bit more on their basketball programs.
Exactly.
And shout out to the NBA for creating the Ball League. So now we're actually having more professional African players playing in the Ball League and also competing for the national teams.
Mhm.
So
And then
hopefully
we
the
also-
NBA, FIBA can just put a little bit more investment and a little bit more structure in the African division for FIBA. And hopefully there will be more teams in the future, because there is I think they only allow 12 teams. So you have to earn your spots in the Olympics. You have to earn it. And South Sudan earned their spot. They only lost one game in the African qualifiers, and they lost 2 games in the World Cup. They deserved that spot in the Olympics. It wasn't charity. We earned that spot. You know what I mean?
Given. It definitely wasn't given.
You took that shit.
Like
Yeah.
we weren't putting it. My bad. Yeah,
Let's move. My bad.
Go ahead.
Let's
No,
move
go-
on though. Let's move on to Team USA.
Yep.
So this one was a little bit more disappointing, and one person in particular, his name is Anthony Edwards, kind of screwed it over for us. But yeah, we lost to Team USA 103-86. We kept the margins close the second half with beating them 21 points to 18 points in the third quarter, and only getting outscored by 1 point in the fourth quarter. But the beginning of the first half was very disappointing. I think Royal Ivy kind of figured it out in the second half, but the first half we were outscored 26-14 by 12 and 29-22 by 7. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Team USA game? And who in particular do you want to highlight during that game? Because I think some players had some good games on Team South Sudan. Actually, a lot of them had good games. I just think the competitiveness of the Olympics kind of just showed its true colors that time.
I was gonna say shout out to Kur Kuath. That dude was guarding Curry pretty nice.
Lock it down for sure. He's one of the notable players that had a hard job, defensively.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest perimeter player to guard in the world.
Yeah,
and to do a job.
He did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
He had, I think, 13 points as well. So offensively, he was cooking. He was the fourth leading scorer behind Nuni and Mario and Carlik.
Mm-hmm.
But like he said, defensively, he was doing his thing because he guarded Steph, and I believe he held Steph to. You guys go ahead while I pull up those stats. 1 sec.
Who did you feel like, Kur? Like who was somebody that
Steph had 3 points.
Of
Against.
course, of course, I'm not gonna lie, man. Carlik Deng Jones he was always showing up. Him being the playmaker and him being able to score the ball efficiently. He wasn't the most efficient this game, but they were guarding him tough. He had a
that's a ruthless
tough matchup, but he's a dog.
Ruthless
I feel like Carlik came to play. In every single game. I feel like he led us, but he was a floor general controlling the game. I give him a big shout out for representing the country and putting South Sudan on his back, being one of the main players.
He did do his dirt. Carlik Jones, that's Carlik Jones, aka Carlik Deng Jones, aka Russell Westbrook Jones, nigga, like, hey, Mr. Triple Double. That's our Mr. Triple Double. do everything that we
what I
need to
enjoyed about him was he was able to bring. He was able to. What I enjoyed about his game was I think he was able to bring out the best in all our players. You know, him being able to facilitate the ball. You know, show his confidence on the court. You know, he brought the best out of all of the players. You know.
No, he definitely did.
Basically, he took that role of taking that offensive, eyes. You know, every team that we played against, they were locked on him to lock him down to make sure we didn't play our best game. And he did his job. You know, he did his big one. And
I love it. Yeah, because
was that the first recorded triple double in Olympic history or what?
No. He was he didn't. Because he had a triple double during USA. He had a triple double versus USA.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, it wasn't that was the group stages. So that game, it didn't count as like a right. It didn't count as Olympics, like the group stages.
The group stages don't count, but I mean the group stages count. He didn't have it. I think he had it against Serbia, or Puerto Rico. But outside of that, in general he was balling. He got a deal. I thought he was gonna get a deal with the NBA, but he ended up getting a deal with equally not on the same par, but Partizan is one of the best EuroLeague teams in the world. It's up there. They could beat the Charlotte Hornets, bro. Personally, I think so.
They're one of the best basketball teams in the world for sure.
Like Partizan, if I had an opportunity, send me over there right now.
But this just shows his unprecedented run in the last 4 years. Because like the dude is from Cincinnati, Ohio, didn't go to he wasn't nationally ranked. I think he went to a small D1, then was able to transfer to Louisville. Then went to the G League MVP, cooked in Chicago G League, and did pretty well in the NBA, and did pretty well in China. But this just shows like this dude is a dog, bro.
Real dog.
A real dog.
With Anthony Davis covering the paint, whether it's Olympics or NBA, who's gonna go at the paint? Carter Jones is attacking the paint every time, going right at give his chest.
It doesn't matter who was in the paint.
Yeah.
Also, I felt like Nooney had an amazing game too.
24 points.
24 points against Team USA. He balled out. Bull balled out. Mario balled out.
Mario had a pretty compared to his other games. He had a pretty slow game, but but he played amazing. I think Team USA kind of focused a little bit more on him shooting, so he wasn't able to get the same shots he was able to get in the first Team USA game. But he played amazing. He played amazing against Serbia and Puerto Rico. Personally, yeah.
And those guys show they're able to compete with NBA players. They should be on NBA contracts.
Nooney, Bo, Carlik, and Mariel,
Nooney,
Wenyen.
Yeah, bro, Wenyen, everybody.
DJ
need to be with anybody. But it's a respect thing, and after the Olympics, they for sure gained a lot more respect from the world, and I hope that they get the contracts that they deserve, even though they're playing for fairly great teams. I believe they deserve NBA contracts.
Give me my money. They need their money.
Give me my money. Pay these guys.
They need their money, Matt. Well, yeah. Let me just add some more things outside of just Nooney, Mariel, Carlik, and we had some great performances from JT and Peter Jock.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget Peter Jock. Peter Jock.
Yes, sir.
Peter. The Team USA game wasn't his best game, but I think team against Serbia, Team USA, he locked up LeBron a little bit, man. Like that was impressive.
I'm here.
Impressive, but I wouldn't say he was like the dark horse on the team. I think a lot of players, I kind of expected this because I saw them play against Team USA in the exhibition in Britain, and I kind of expected their performances in the group stages. But for these guys not to have like the national coverage that Team USA has and Jokic has, and to outperform some of the NBA players on Team USA is impressive in itself. Like that they deserve NBA contracts for that reason, because I feel like you can mix and match them for your NBA teams, and defensively they can hold their own, and offensively they can score. So I don't know what NBA GMs are thinking in general, but what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I agree because not only they can compete with these guys, but they can compete with them on the biggest stage in the world, like in front of the whole world.
We showed it. The best players in the world are the same team.
The best players in the world, exactly. You know,
He was able to.
It just shows the disrespect that they have, but they will. I feel like they will grow. We'll grow from this, and we'll.
My bad. I don't mean to cut you off. I don't want to say it's disrespect. I want to say it's more ignorance, and like not ignorance like that they're dumb or stupid, but ignorance is they don't know.
Just ignoring.
They don't know what
they don't know
what we have. They don't know what we have. They don't know the kind of players. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of South Sudanese basketball players, the only players that really ever come to mind is like Lual Deng, Manu, Bol, and Bobo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people will forget about Wenye, people will forget about TJ, people will forget about Quant. People like we have players all over the world. We have players in every, but it's the opportunities that we're given and the opportunities that we are taking. And I think like that's why I love like what we did in these Olympics. I love it because now the world gets to know that South Sudan produces basketball players.
Yeah,
South Sudan, we have people that can hoop. Like shout out to our 17-year-old. Shout out to the future of South Sudan, Kamal Mulaj. Someone like him. That's one of the first. Like besides what Wenyan did, what Lual did. That's one of the first players to do it from South Sudan to go straight D1. He's not even 18 yet. He's straight D1. He's already projected he's projected to go 15th in next year's draft, and they haven't seen him play yet. And like and to me, Kaman is he's the leader of our future. He's the leader of what's gonna take the next generation from where we are right now to a whole step above, to where now all our little brothers, all our little cousins, all our little siblings, our little sisters, everybody, they're gonna get that opportunity that we wanted when we were coming out of high school, when we were in high school playing basketball and doing all that. They're gonna get that. They're gonna get that purely being based off the fact that we're South Sudanese. They're gonna know what South Sudanese players can do, and that's who we're gonna draft. Because like if you know, like I mean, all of us we're from Utah, so we come from a state where we're raised around Mormons. You know what I'm saying? A lot of white people, but then there's also a lot of Polynesian people. And for a lot of people, I don't know what Polynesian are. They're Pacific Islanders, Samoans, Tongans, Fijians, Hawaiians, or Micronesians. Like there's so many people. And from when I was a kid, I was able to see that Polys are built for the NFL. They're built to play football. They're built to go crazy in these sports. And recently, the world is starting to see that. Now the world is starting to see, if we want to get an amazing football player, then we have to go Polynesian. We have to go Pacific Islander. That's how we gonna get the player that we want. And like I'm happy to see that because now it shows that. Because now I'm able to see that that's who we are. That's who we are on the basketball side. As Polys are for football, that's what I feel like us as Africans are for basketball. We're built for it. We're not just built for it, and we've been like this since Manu Bo was around. We've been have these same builds, the same athleticism, the same structures and everything. But now that we able to show that on the world stage, and then we got a youngin and Kaman about to play at a high major D1 basketball program. Yeah, coaches are gonna start to realize that, and we better expect our little ones to get offers out of second grade, because you know what I'm saying. That's how that's what
second grade 7'2".
You know what I'm saying?
Come out the womb 6 foot.
That's how I feel through.
No, I agree. Because the future is definitely bright. And in future episodes we're definitely going to speak about these college players and these upcoming players that you should definitely the fans should definitely take notice of and tune in. And we're excited to continue to show you guys that the future is going to be great. Like
it's tall and dark.
It's bright, even though it's dark. It's bright. Even though it's dark, it's bright.
It's bright like the bright stars. So yeah, I agree with you though. But watch out for Kaman. He's coming. He made history this year being the youngest Olympian in the Olympics. So just history all over.
Yeah, I think Kaman's gonna have a good year. Great program at Duke, and the fact that he's 7'3" and he's strong. And like
he's not.
Yeah, He's not. But let's not forget the fact that right before the Olympics, the dude was playing in the ball league and was killing it. Like,
Killing
dude,
16.
I think he was the leading scorer at one point for the entire league. He
Ooh.
averaged the most rebounds in the entire league and averaged 3 blocks in the entire league. And his first game was kind of he had a pretty slow start in his first game. I think he had like 8-10 points, but he dunked on this grown ass man. Like, it was clockwork, bro. Like, he one step, boom, on his head, went all over the internet, bro. But outside of that, after he kind of like bought in and like kind of got used to the ball, the physicality, they couldn't stop him. He was literally, they had to run the offense because he played for the City Oilers. They had to run the offense mainly through him, and he was 16. You know, like, that is Luka Doncic level responsibilities. So if you're an NBA GM and you're just gonna look at his Olympic performance, he didn't get to play that much, but I think he had a pretty decent Olympic performance for a 17-year-old. But if you would have watched him in the ball league, he's a top 5 pick out of just that, and he's gonna do numbers in the NCAA this year.
You know,
Most definitely.
Okay. So now let's move on to Serbia. Let's get a little bit more technical on this one. Even though this is a very emotional game for us Africans, not just us South Sudanese. I think this applies to African basketball in general, because Lual Deng kind of explained that African basketball is a little bit more physical, a little bit more based off athleticism compared to the European style. And I feel like some of the fouls that were called upon us were kind of like superficial,
shaky,
wishy-washy, whatever. But yeah,
Soft.
Let's get back down to the margins. If we were able to sustain a lead for a majority of the game, I think we would have been in the quarterfinals, and we were able to get, sizable leads in the second and third quarter, where we did get some leads. We would be in the quarterfinals, but the margins were the first quarter. The margin was 23-22 Serbia. Second quarter, 24-22 Serbia. Third quarter, 25-23 Serbia. And the majority of the fourth quarter, we were within a point, a bucket, and tied at a majority of times. But we lost by 8, which put us out of contention for the quarterfinals in the fourth quarter, 24-18. What are your guys' thoughts on this development?
I was not a fan of that game. I'm sorry. So I don't mean to cut anybody out. I wasn't a fan of that game. I don't feel like just like Lual Deng said, I don't feel like that game was officiated fairly. I don't feel I feel like I keep going off a topic, but I'm from Utah. I grew up in a white systematic system, a political system where if you aren't white or Mormon, you go to a white or Mormon school, most of the times they're not messing with you. I went to Kearns High School. We were at least the basketball team was predominantly black, predominantly Sudanese. And anytime like we beat teams purely off of talent, it was never because of the refs, it was never because like anybody liked us. No. We was always going against the school, we was going against the team, we was going against the refs, we was going against the UHSSA. Like it was never anybody on our side. And any games we won, we had to win that by ourselves, purely us beating the other team. And that's what I felt like they wanted that Serbian game to be. They wanted us to show them that we're better than Jokic, we're better than Bogdanovic, we're better than these players. And it's always hard when you're going against these great players and refs that aren't playing fairly. That's always like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I wasn't a fan of that game. I felt to me that was one of the worst games of basketball I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of bad basketball games, bad officiated basketball games. But that's
what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel like it was terribly officiated. I think the style of play that we have is definitely more physical, more aggressive, but also, our style of play is not a flopping style, We're not taught to flop since we're 15, 14 years old to sell fouls, We're taught to put your head down, go to the rim as hard as you can, and finish over any contact. Because, and one thing that Serbia has is, they definitely have experience, that's respected by the refs, of course. Players that are respected, high level players. So they're gonna have that respect from the refs. They're gonna have the the European style of flopping and flailing, And I'm not gonna lie, that's just how it is. We're not taught that. We just play hard and go after it, get after it. But it was definitely bad because the foul count being 31 to 7 free throws is ridiculous. Like there's no way you have opportunity to get 31 points off free throws and we only have 7. And we're attacking the rim. We're attacking the paint. We're going up. We're not just shooting, avoiding contact. No. We're playing as aggressive. We're playing as aggressive, but we were getting that respect. And that's my thought. I mean, I think they just need need to balance out the game,
So Kur, I have some stats, but before we go to the stats, you played for Team South Sudan in the African qualifiers, and I think 2 tournaments with Team South Sudan, mainly in Africa. How was the physicality playing international African sports compared to international play that you play for your professional team and also in college? How are those? Are they different or are they the same? Are they ref differently or
more or less the physicality? Okay, so more or less the physicality is similar. I feel like it's more physical with AfroBasket, but the refs are calling less. They're letting you play more versus college and professional. You're protected a lot more with certain FIBA rules and certain leagues. And same with college, you're protected more. They have special rules to make it so you have a cylinder. In Africa, you don't really got a cylinder. You just got to be strong with the ball and protect it, at all costs. So it's more physical for sure, but it's just they let you rock out more. So it's a different level. It's completely different levels of playing with styles and stuff.
Also, what do you think Royal Ivy, Lual Deng, and their coaching staff should do? Personally, I believe they need to kind of address the fouling situation, which I don't think is necessarily their fault, but in terms of you only get so many opportunities to play international basketball, so you have to fix any form of error that could hinder your success in the future. So
going too.
Yeah, so they're going to play African basketball coming soon, so they're going to get used to the African style once again. Then after this year, I think 2026 or 2027, they're going to be playing in the World Cup. And now they're going to have to reconfigure playing that style of basketball where they won't be fouling as much. So I think for this upcoming tournament, they need to focus more on, okay, let's play a little bit more tactical. Let's play a little bit more, not European, but just in preparation for those tournaments in the future. Because I think we don't want to lose based off free throws. 30-something free throw attempts compared to our 10 is part of the reason why we lost.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. Definitely got to figure out other tactical ways of playing. But, I think they continue to do what they do. But also, I feel like they need to meet with the head of the refs and see what specific rules, specific things they can and can't do to mitigate what's going on. I feel like they should have a team meeting before the tournament starts. Like what's a style? Like what are fouls? Try to get the rules down to a T. So then, but at the end of the day, you can get the rules down. At the end of the day, just come into ball. Not even thinking about the refs, and that's what they did. They played without thinking about the refs. Let the coaches handle the refs. As a player, you just play. You can't worry about the refs because they'll take you out your game. So as long as they just get their tactics together, the coaches, the staff handle what the refs are doing and figure out how they're playing, and the players just continue to ball out and play their game. They're gonna be fine. There's no big adjustments.
Cool. Can I ask you a question?
One last thing. We'll just get this. We're not trying to downplay South Sudan's defense. I think South Sudan's defense is one of the better defensive programs in the tournament. Yeah, and the stats prove it because we had 24 points off turnovers, and we had 23 fast break points all off turnovers. So we are playing great defense. We have great defensive schemes, but there kind of has to be a balance. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you said earlier, because like when you used to play Kearns basketball, you guys would play just based off talent. Team South Sudan is not playing based off talent. They're talented, but you gotta big up the coaching staff because they actually have defensive schemes that you can watch real time. And their defensive schemes were working. They were doubling the post for Team USA, and they were able to get 3 turnovers back to back off Joel Embiid, which kind of like, you know what I mean, which kind of shows like Royal Ivy and Lual Deng and their coaching staff, they have a defensive game plan. Yeah. So it's not just like, oh, they're just playing physical, they're athletic. No, they have a defensive game plan. The defensive game plan worked.
Yeah.
It's just the refs took it away from us. Took it away from Team South Sudan. That's what I was trying to say.
And it's like,
and go ahead.
And I mean, like, and I think like that's what it's always gonna be. That's what it's always gonna be, because unless, like, you know what I'm saying, like, the Olympics is based out of Europe. It's based out of Greece. It's based out of Greece, if I'm not lying. It's based so end of the day.
Yeah, FIBA is also headquartered in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm. Like, we're decades away from where it started, but like they're still gonna be going off their Eurocentric ways, how they feel about things. And that's how it was when we was in, because like when we played in Utah, like at least like my senior year, our team, we had three of the top 5 defenders in state, 3 of the top 5 leaders in steals in state. But that didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? That didn't take nothing. That didn't make the state be like, you know what, they're playing great defenses, give it to them. No, that made, I feel like to us, the state was like, you know what, we feel like they're playing rough, let's take it away from them. That's not who they are. And like that, and that's what the refs would blow their whistles on when they felt like they wanted to, and that's what watching the game felt like. And to me, it just felt like it wasn't even about the fact of like, oh, let's make them prove themselves. Like, we're playing against the best player in the world, in Joel and in
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
that's where you see Serbia's defensive game plan. They were playing great basketball in general, but they kind of baited the fouls. That was their offensive game plan. Let's bait these fouls. And even though they were committing fouls, the refs were reffing as fairly as they could, but you could see the bias was given more toward, because I think Nikola Jokic, most of the fouls came from him. So we had 23 personal fouls. What's his name? Wenyan Gabriel fouled out. Game was pretty much over.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, it's a Eurocentric game, but it's not necessarily a Eurocentric game. I mean, reffing is more that African style of basketball. There should have been at least a little leeway to understand why these guys play a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
And some of the wishy-washy fouls should not have been called on Nikola Jokic.
I think like Nikola Jokic. Because if you ask me, like, these are grown men. These are professional basketball players. Yeah. So like a little, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, if I do a little too much, I'm a little over aggressive, and I you know, I do foul you on accident, I'm a understand when the ref does call that foul. But then when we go around and we doing the same thing, we're not like name me one player on the team that we can say is as good as either Nikola Jokic or Bogdanovic. Like, we don't have a single player.
I could say I'm not saying Carlik Jones and Bogdanovic. I'm not going to compare them, but I think Carlik Jones is at the same level as Bogdanovic. Yeah, but you're right. They did not call the hard fouls on us. They did call wishy-washy fouls on Serbia, which were just like, what about the hard fouls when Carlik Jones went for a layup and got grabbed? Like, those are the type of fouls we're looking for, because like he broke down the defense, he got a good shot and got fouled. So as a ref, you're supposed to call that, because that's where he's at a disadvantage, because he got fouled when he should have been. You know, he had right away in terms of like layups and shit like that.
Exactly.
But like that just kind of shows like this kind of has to be addressed by the coaching staff, Royal Ivy and Lual Deng. I'm not giving him suggestions about how to move on forward, because you can't control the refs.
To me, that's a great suggestion. Like one thing I always wish I could have told my coach when I was in high school and we were losing those games because of the refs. I always wish I could have told my coach, like, hey, if the refs already not rocking with us, let's forfeit the game and let's give the opposing team the game. And like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you do the most, bro. Hey, let's take a break, bro. So welcome back. Now the topic of discussion is South Sudan players, and mainly what I see is we only had one South Sudanese player that got an NBA contract, but a bunch of them, majority of them play in leagues outside of the NBA. So I'm gonna list some players, and I want you guys to rate their overall performance in the Olympics and where they're playing at right now. So
Like out of 10?
I believe so. So the first player is a little controversial one. I don't know why we love this dude. Some people, because he's not mainly girls, women. Since he's not a South Sudanese national, why does he get so much praise on the internet? But he's a bucket. He's a bucket getter. Carlik Deng Jones. He is a national now. Yeah, he is a national, and he can join the Twitch community with us. You know what I mean? He's one of us. And he's Ruang. You guys want to claim him? You guys want to claim him? Okay, he's Ruang now. Okay, Carlik Jones is Ruang.
He's welcome in Vietnam whenever,
Hey, say less, bro. Hey, we already have Bold Qual upon the Twitch, so we chilling, bro. Shout out to him. Hey, so Carlik Jones just signed a Partizan. I was assuming that he was going to get an NBA contract. There were some NBA teams that are interested in him, but he had a pretty good run. And I believe we already went over his stats, but let me go over his stats one more time. So I think he averaged 18 points at efficiency of 20. His efficiency was at 19. He averaged 7 assists with about only 3.3 turnovers, and he averaged about 5 rebounds. What are your guys' thoughts on Carlik Jones' performance?
Being the playmaker, man, I'm gonna have to give his performance a solid 10 out of 10, man. He did his thing. He got his buckets. He got everybody involved. He's that floor general we needed. And but like he exceeded everybody's expectations. And everybody's like, "Who's this? Who's Carlik?" They didn't know how nice he was. So. It was a great performance by him.
He don't look like them.
Hey,
like us.
He just
like us.
Yeah, that was a great addition to the team. I think he added something that the team was missing, which was a little bit more control, a little more someone who can control the tempo. Mm-hmm. And he's a perfect fit for the team because
he was a point guard.
He can get buckets on his own, and he can also set people up. He's done a really good job. Okay, so let's move on to Mariel Shayuk. He had 14 points a game, 1.3 assists, 3.7 rebounds, and an efficiency of 9.3. But I think that's because he took a lot of shots. But we kind of needed that. We needed someone who could make difficult shots. And right now he's currently playing for Shandong Ducks in the CBA. What are your guys? How would you guys rate his performance?
His game against USA was his game during the exhibition game of USA was what we needed. Somebody that got the confidence to let it fly. I think that game he had 9. Was that game he had 9 threes?
I believe so.
Yeah, he
had
That's a confidence level we need as a South Sudanese player. If we have a floor general in Carlik Jones that's willing to attack, get his team involved and stuff like that. Now we need our wings to have the confidence to let it fly. And that's why I love his game so much. That's baby KD. That's Sudanese KD. You know what I'm saying?
He has a good game.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He definitely bought up, man.
I'll give his performance overall a 7 out of 10. I love it so much. Like I think he came big when we needed him to. Like there was times he could have showed up more, but every time he did show up, those were the times I counted, and that's the times that I'm counting on.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Sway. I believe that he had a great Olympic run. I would rate him an 8 out of 10. Just the way he was able to shoot the ball with confidence, get buckets. Mario, he for sure is a bucket getter since college. He knows how to get it, even from being drafted to NBA. Being
a Philly legend.
A Philly legend. I got much respect for Mario for doing what he did and representing the country.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
hooping.
Yeah, he's always been a bucket since Iowa State, the Cyclone days. Him and Tyrese Halliburton had that run in like, I think 2019, and then he was just lighting up the league and lighting up the G League, man. Now he's lighting up the CBA. He's a bucket getter no matter where you put him, man.
Mm-hmm. With many accolades, you know.
Yeah. So the third player, we might have to burn through these players as fast as we can, but this is actually my favorite player on the team. Is Nuni Oma. I think he has the smoothest game and the most versatile type of game. And he also had an NBA stint with the New York Knicks a couple years ago after. Yeah, so I believe he had a consistent. I'll give him like a 9 out of 10. He was very consistent. He consistently played his game. He didn't have a bad game. He had a really good game against USA, but like he consistently played his game. He averaged 16 points, efficiency of 16.3, right below Carly Jones. Had an average about 3 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 2.7 assists. So he had a really good tournament. What are you guys' thoughts on his performance?
I'll put him up there because he was one of the players that actually helped us build up to get to our Olympic run. He was there. He was there during our qualifying days, and like he's been one of those more consistent players.
Yeah.
So like he didn't show out like he was like at least like I feel like he was supposed to show out. But what he already did for us for us to get to where we at, like that's more important. And I know like now he went through this Olympic run this first time, 2028. Oh yeah, I think he gonna be him for the team. I think that's gonna be our next Kwani. I think that's one of our next captains.
No, for sure, I agree with you. You know, he definitely was 9 out of 10. You know, he balled out. You know, he's an elite 3-level scorer.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the guys that was most consistent throughout all. You know, the African qualifiers. You know, FIBA World Cup, and even onto the Olympics. But hell of a player, man, and that's a high-level player. Like he could compete with anybody in the league, and I feel like he deserves that chance and opportunity to play in the NBA. And I believe that opportunity will be coming soon. Just the way he performed and the way he holds himself. You know, he's professional. He's a pro. He do this for real.
He's playing in the on the Beijing Ducks, right?
Yes,
yeah, he's playing in Beijing. He had a good season last year for Beijing in the CBA. But he signed to a new team. He did. Oh, actually, that is his new team. He signed to the Beijing Ducks. Sorry, I'm getting shit out of order. But let's move on, and we could talk more in depth about these players in a future podcast. But let's just move on so people kind of get to know who had good performances this tournament. We have Bol Kuath, who averaged 13 points.
Wow. Hey,
yeah, Moin Tweet, Panadiak, real shit. He had 2.3 assists, 3.3 rebounds. What was really impressive, which I didn't think he got shouted, you know what I mean, like bigged up for, was he was shooting 72% from the 3-point line.
Wow.
So he was taking 4 threes a game and making at least 2 or 3. That is crazy. And his efficiency was at 17. So like I saw on Twitter, Majuk Deng said like Bol Kuath should be in the NBA.
Should be.
Most definitely.
For sure.
Most
definitely. Against Team USA, both games he held Steph Curry below, I think 15 the first game, and he held him below 5 the second game. Steph Curry had 3 points the second game. And he was one thing he probably needed to work on against Team Serbia. He got a lot of fouls against Serbia, but like defensively, he is NBA ready. Offensively, he can make his shots. He just probably needs a little bit more polish around his game, but he's there. You know what I mean? He's a good 3-and-D player. What are your guys' thoughts on his performance during the Olympics?
You know, I give him a 10 out of 10, man. You know, me myself, I'm a defensive type of player. He had one of the hardest jobs, you know, having to guard Steph and being able to, you know, play amazing defense while also being very efficient offensively. Great player, man. You know, and I agree with the joke that, you know, he deserves an NBA spot. I believe in the future he will for sure get the opportunity, and I hope he does.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I loved it.
I thought he was dope. Man. Like especially guarding Steph Curry. That
Yeah, it was a good.
That's not something that's easy, you know.
It's not regular.
He makes NBA players look like kids. For someone who's coming from like a program that's not like, I want to say professional.
That's professional.
Internationally recognized.
Nationally known.
Nationally.
Yeah. Internationally known. So that's what.
Thanks.
That's a better way.
Yeah, he plays for I think the Sydney Kings,
NBL
team. A lot of NBL players on Team South Sudan, but he shows that he's ready for the NBA, and hopefully that he can get at least a trial run with the NBA team.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the captain, Wenyan Gabriel.
Hey,
he averaged 5.7 points, 9 rebounds. He was top 5 in rebounds for the tournament. An efficiency of 10.3%. What are your guys' thoughts on his performance?
One of my dogs. He was one of the people that was there. He was one of them that showed up. That Serbia game, I really feel like he was a, like, even though we didn't win, he was a big piece in containing Nikola Jokic. He was a big stopper. He was a big, even though we didn't get the calls we wanted. I think he played a great game against the world's best player, the world's best basketball player. He did what he really did everything he can do. But man, sometimes we don't get what we deserve. But if you ask me, 10 out of 10. There's nobody holding the world's greatest basketball player to that many points. He's guarding Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis. He's not guarding regular Douglas. He's guarding real life dangerous centers, and he's if you can remember, how tall is he again? Is he 6'8", 6'9"?
I think he's like 6'9".
About 6'10".
6'10". He's doing that. He's an undersized. That's an undersized center. That's an undersized center, and he's able to not only do that when he's containing them on defense, but coming back around on offense and being there for his team. They asked me, that's a 10 out of 10 performance.
For sure. It was tough.
For that first USA game, he started us. He started us with
the three.
Yeah.
I think he had the first 5 points. The first 7 points.
Yeah, he had 6 points.
Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man.
He got us out of the rut.
Well, yeah, man.
Because I was joking around because it was like 10-0, bro. And I was like, we just got skunked.
Okay, we got 2K skunked.
But then just the momentum just went our way after he hit that shot. The South Sudanese crowd went up. We were small in numbers, but we were loud. You could hear us out the stadium.
He hit that bank shot off the glass. I said, "Yep, don't even. I ain't nothing to worry about anymore, man."
Right. Yeah. It just shows. That he has that aura of being able to play in front of millions of fans. He's been on the biggest
ability
stage,
to lead the team, man.
and the ability to be the captain, to be the most experienced player. And he definitely did his big thing. It was tough that he got foul trouble in the Serbia game, but you can't blame him. He's guarding the best player in the world. That has every move and every counter move you could think of. Jokic, we got to give Jokic his flowers for playing such a smart game, such a high IQ game. But Wenyan, for sure, man, 10 out of 10 performance, and I want to continue to just state that he definitely deserves an NBA contract. There's no reason why he shouldn't be playing the NBA, even though he's in a Euro League, a great league.
Real quick, a quick question:
he's a high-level NBA player.
Doesn't he lead like the he leads like the points or rebounds for like the Bucks G League team off of that one season that he played with them?
Yeah. He led in points, rebounds. He had a 10-day contract with the Grizzlies. He had a pretty good run, but they weren't able to extend. Even though they let go of what's his name, the Congolese dude, Bismack Biyombo. So they needed that center. I think it was a bad decision on the Grizzlies end. But now he plays at Maccabi Tel Aviv, which is a good EuroLeague team. Hopefully, and now Patrick Beverly's with them. Hopefully, they're able to make it to the Final Four in the EuroLeague. More success to him. But let's move on. Oh, my bad. But let's move on. Get through these players quickly because we are gonna do a deep dive on the players soon. In an upcoming episode. But we are almost reaching the 130, 120 minute mark. So what are your guys' thoughts on Peter Jock? He had 7.7 points, 5 rebounds, and average 1 assist. Personally, he was a bucket getter because he shot 45% from the 3.
Yeah, he was threes.
What just happened?
He just froze for a second.
Dude, it's my Wi-Fi. There's too many people on my Wi-Fi right now.
And my mic just died again. Hold up.
But we gotta go do this in Mabir's place so we can all have 3 of us sit down and just
like an actual setup.
See how does this.
All right, you wanna repeat?
Okay.
Yeah,
redo it again. Okay.
How were you able?
So guys,
Huh?
It's all good.
How are you able to make that full screen?
Oh, since I can control whatever I want to do.
So would you be able to would you be able to control it full screen to whoever's talking though it'll bring them up full screen? Yeah, I think that would be a better setup.
Nah,
the thing is, I'm talking, so it's very mindful of me doing that while talking.
So you got to do it manually.
No, this is
so
3 screens.
It's good like this.
If and I can remove people too, so I can remove Kur, which is us. If you're annoying us, Sway, we're gonna take you out. Nah, I'm joking. Hey, let's back at it.
All right,
so
let's
push. So guys, let's just power through. We got Peter Jock. He averaged 7.7 points a game, 5 rebounds and 1 assist, and shot 45% from the 3.
Tough.
I thought he was one of the dark horses. Him and Rihan Deng. How do you guys rate his performance?
I rate him. 10 out of 10, man. He came in with energy. Very efficient, and he came locking up. He came to play, and that's one thing. We needed. We needed the energy off the bench. We needed players to come in, defend, and be efficient. Maybe he didn't get as many shots as he deserved, but he made the ones he did get count. That's one thing about the players on the team. They did their thing.
Okay, so next is JT Thor. Actually, Peter Jock plays for. I think he got signed to a team in the internationally. I think he got signed to Sabona Zagreb in Croatia, which is in the EuroLeague. Now we have JT Thor, who is actually on a 2-way contract with the Cavs. Rihan was very excited for him to get signed. That's one of Rihan's favorite players in the league right now. He averaged 6.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and I believe 0.7 block per game. Those are just the averages, but I think defensively he was probably the second best defender behind Bull Qual. I think him and Wenyan were kind of tied. They kind of did the same things, but he was more undersized, so I think which was more impressive on my point of view. How would you guys rate his performance?
I loved it. 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
Yeah, he hit that not game winning shot, but that
the game tying shot.
Yeah, the game tying shot.
No, it was the shot to take us to the lead with 13 seconds left.
Yeah, the tie up, the lead.
But during the Olympics, defensively, he was blocking.
He was locking up.
Erasing shots at the rim. And I think he had one play where he erased a shot, went down the court, and then yammed it. He's also young. People don't understand. JT Thor is 22. He's 22.
Oh, he's young.
During the Olympics, he was 21. barely able. You know what I mean? So
Damn.
like he's
So we had to
have
have
more tournaments in him. He has many more tournaments ahead of him. What are you guys' thoughts on JT Thor?
Man, you gotta be him. If the game is on the line versus Team USA, LeBron got the ball in his hand and they tell you to guard LeBron James. That's all I can say. They put you on LeBron James on a game-winning shot. So like, man,
is it all? You don't gotta say anything else. It just shows you the type of player he is and the type of future he has. You know.
Mm-hmm. But I want to speak on the fact that I feel like he's not a two-way player. I think he's a main team player. I think he's someone that needs to be on that 15-man roster. And he's not and he shouldn't be nowhere near the 7th man.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's right now he's in a good and also kind of unfortunate situation because there are some people in his position, but I think he's a wing. I don't think he plays power forward center. I think they should put him at the wing. So hopefully he shows out in the G League, develops a little bit more, and then he gets some time to shine on the Cavs because the Cavs are a playoff team. So anything is possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Okay, so now let's move on to Ayung Deng. Then we have Kamal Malwach, Sunday Dech, Jackson McCoy, and Kwani. How would you guys rate Ayung Deng's performance? He didn't have the most impressive stats, but I think if you watch the game, he was very impressive in terms of like defensively and offensively. What he was able to do in his short amount of minutes.
Great offensive piece. He's a great offensive piece. I don't know how tall he is, but that's like
6'11".
6'11". That's a tall wing if I've ever seen one. Like, man, you like real life, like regularly when you're 6'11", you're supposed to be in the paint. Being able to make plays from the perimeter, that's tough. And that's who we are. That's who we are. So it's like for him to make those kind of plays, like do what he did, yeah. I'll really give him a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
Yeah. With all the foul trouble that we had, him playing the center and holding his own against Serbia,
that's not his like.
impressive.
I was never able to watch his game, but I can tell like he's a perimeter player. He's not a big player. So like when we are in foul trouble and when you got to go out and he got to come in for Wenyan's spot and he's actually able to sit there and hold his position, like that's all you need to do. Don't make it easy for him, and that's exactly what he did. That's all my respect. Like, I really 7 out of 10.
Sure. They call him Juba Airlines for a reason, you know. He does. He's a jack of all trades. He does everything, and that was he's a big piece in the Olympics, and also a very experienced player. He has a lot of years.
He's like 33, 31. He's a very experienced player.
Yes, he has a lot of years playing pro in the NBL and in other countries as well. So.
He's actually one of our only dual players on the national team at the moment because he plays for the Al Hilal in Egypt and I believe the Sydney Ducks or something. No, what did he play for? He plays for the Jack Jumpers. the Jack Jumpers in the NBL.
So he played for both like EuroLeague too?
Yeah, because the NBL has a really short season, so they're able to do the ball and the NBL. Okay, now we have the future, the franchise. Kamal Malwach. What are you guys' thoughts on it? He didn't have many minutes. He only averaged 4.4 minutes, but I believe the Olympics didn't showcase his skill set. In the exhibition games, he was playing. He was actually doing really good in the exhibition games. But I think the severity of the Olympics kind of reduced his numbers, his minutes. But actually, what's your guys' view on his potential?
High, past the ceiling. Past the ceiling. Like, end of the day, like I can understand why Coach Ivy didn't want to, why he didn't want to really put too much time in on him, because like, come on, you're young, you got the he can at his age he can play with us for our next 4 Olympics. The next 4 Olympics coming up, he can play. He can compete for that. So right now, like I don't think he should take his the time he got, like the playing time he got. I don't think he should take that to heart. Like for you to be at your age and for them to trust you that much and let you come on the court, that's the biggest thing. But by the time the next Olympics come around, you're gonna be a big piece. You're gonna be a real, if not the main piece, you're gonna be a really big important
He's
piece
gonna be
for
a
our
problem,
country.
for sure.
He's gonna be a problem. Yeah, and the thing is, come on, he's so hardworking, and like, not many basketball players have his level of success at a young age. Like,
No,
not many.
at all.
That
Not at
so
all.
the fact that he's still working hard, he hasn't let that get to him, and because he was a big piece for our team in the World Cup, and he played amazingly in the ball league. I know we're supposed to keep this thing short, but I remember what I told you, man. He was
Yeah,
averaging. He was a high scorer in the ball league.
60-year-old
had-
bully.
Number one in points before the tournament. Number one in rebounds. Number one in blocks. Like, come on, and he was probably up there in efficiency too.
And the fact that he started playing, basketball at 14, 15 is even crazier. You know how fast.
So that's 3 years
fast
worth
he
of
developed.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Developed crazily.
And with a great mentor like Lual, I'm saying the sky's the limit. He's going to be able to accomplish whatever he wants in this game.
Okay. Now we have Sunday Dutch. What are your guys' thoughts? He plays for. He's still under contract for the Adelaide 36ers. Sorry, these NBL names be funny as hell, bro.
Yeah, I love him, bro. I swear to
So Sunday Dutch, he had a pretty good game. He had a pretty good tournament. He had a couple threes against Puerto Rico and Serbia. What are your guys' thoughts on his performance, even though he had limited minutes?
Him having limited minutes just shows how deep the bench was, because he was a big part of the Afro qualifier windows and groups. So, but he's great. I think he's a great team player. One of our captains for the floor general, one of our floor generals, but he definitely didn't get the minutes to showcase his skill level and talent in this Olympics. But if he did, I know he would have showed out and bombed out.
Now we have Jackson McCoy of the Taipans NBL. Jackson McCoy actually had a really good game against the British in the exhibition games. I didn't see his games against Portugal and Argentina because for some reason you were unable to stream them. But outside of like the limited, he barely got to play. But I think he's really athletic, and he has a really good floater, which I think could translate pretty well in the NBL. Did you guys see any of his performances prior to the Olympics?
Yeah, Jackson is actually pretty tall guard. He's a big point.
He's
guard.
like 6'6".
Yeah, and he's young. He's a young point guard that has a lot of professional experience. Coming from an injury, it's always tough, and I feel like this is just him it's just the start of his Olympic career. Just getting the experience on the big stage, getting to watch and view it. Of course, same things come on. They just get to watch and view it to prepare for future Olympics. And seeing the guys in front of him play will definitely get him prepared for the next, FIBA windows and prepare for the next Olympics. But he's a great player with a high ceiling, and I believe that he'll be a big part of South Sudan's future.
I might be incorrect, but is the same Jackson McCoy that won Rookie of the Year in the NBL?
I believe so. It's the same Jackson McCoy. He's been very high ceiling. Okay, last but not least, this is gonna be a little side thing. If they don't build a statue of Mans in South Sudan, I'm gonna be sick, bro. They gotta build a statue.
Before you say his name, before you even say his name, you gotta stand up and salute, man. That's the
salute, bro.
Nah, I swear, man. All right.
Bud, captain for South Sudan, Kwani, bro. He didn't get to play, bro, but like
the truth.
How big has his impact been to South Sudan basketball and South Sudan in general?
Have you guys heard of the name of Lual Sanders? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Maybe make it easier.
Yeah.
The captain. he lost his name, bro. There's a new captain. He's the captain. He's the captain now. That's the captain. That's the captain. That's like, nigga, there's no way going. That's how you lead a team, bro.
No, for real.
Like he didn't play too much, but like how he inspired the youngins and like brought that pressure. Yeah, like he did what he was supposed to do. Like he did like for even for us at the Olympics today, where we at today, he had to do what he was doing so many years ago.
Yeah.
So many years ago, before there was even a team.
Facts, right?
Yeah, that's facts.
So I was like, man, like
jump.
anytime I hear his name, is a salute. No matter.
Respect.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Kwani Kur? You got to play with him a few times on the national team. Can you describe his character, his work ethic?
Yeah, great person, great captain. He definitely knows how to lead, and he knows how to lead by example. Him being able to represent the country for every single game South Sudan has ever played in is completely mind blowing, and we continue to praise Kwani for representing the country, and he definitely does deserve that statue that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, he deserved that. Because like, yo, if you look at the Instagram page, if you look at the first tournaments, bro, he was there. Like you see every tournament, minor, major, he's there. That is
outdoors.
Yeah, they gotta have the statue of him like this, bro. It was one hand up.
You gotta have the statue of him holding the flag.
The flag?
Holding the South Sudan flag, yeah.
The South Sudan flag like that. With the boat on the boat. Hey, that'd be crazy, bro. They got the boat.
The flag and the two girls chasing him.
Oh, yo, that'd be.
You might cut that out of the video. I don't know.
Do that, man.
Hey, they gotta be right in front of the stadium, bro.
They gotta be right in front. Right before you even gonna step in South Sudan. Before you step in South Sudan,
they need to be in front of the airport,
Kwani Airs. We're gonna change the whole airport name, bro. It's not Juba Air no more. It's Kwani Air, nigga. Hey. Excuse the language. My apologies.
But no, respect to Captain.
Respect to Team South Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
We respect to Kwani, man. But like, I think that's pretty much all we need to talk about in the podcast. We're gonna have some future episodes coming every Sunday. We're gonna drop every Sunday. Be ready. And before we head out, we just got some announcements of future episodes we're gonna be talking about. We're going to be doing a college basketball preview for South Sudanese players in college. We're also going to do a preview for the African Cup, not just covering Team South Sudan, but all the teams that are in contention, which includes Egypt, who kind of had some additions to their team, Mozambique, Mali, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll also have some future guests, so be ready, man. You guys have any words, any goodbyes you want to share to the people?
Thanks for giving us y'all time. Thanks for giving us y'all ear. You know what I'm saying? It's your main man, Sway. Thank you for everything again.
Y'all, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment any future ideas and topics that y'all would like us to discuss in the future. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and giving us the time of day. And make sure you follow our Instagram and our TikTok. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Oye.
YSSN.